Hey, chaos is calling. Will you read its messages? Yeah. Did you know chaos has a message for us? And there's lots of different kinds of chaos, but chaos is begging for attention. The universe is one of order, is one of balance, and chaos is unbalanced. But it also has all the elements that it needs to be able to be brought back in order. A year ago, I was stopped at a stoplight and I looked over to my right and they were taking down an apartment building and there's a big backhoe that was taking down the walls. It was fascinating. I was mesmerized. And all of a sudden there was these pipes and there's wires and rebar everywhere and mangled things. And I thought, oh my gosh, my son would have a blast here. But what a mess they're making. This is like sheer chaos out here. 1 year later, voila, beautiful townhomes with these beautiful porches, these fences, all these happy families. I thought, wow, from all that chaos came this beautiful order of homes for families that wasn't there before. I think about chaos in my life and I think, well, yeah, I've had a few times of chaos, but chaos can be small chaos, it can be a huge chaos. But whatever kind of chaos it is, there's a message there. And the universe is trying to get our attention. Well, what do you mean the universe is trying to get your attention? Well, I learned this the other day and I'm just so excited. I wanted to share it with you because when you learn something, you're like, start deeper diving in it. You're like, whoa, okay, now I see patterns there, and there in my life. And I was being offered a message. And some of the times I got it. And a lot of the times I totally missed it. So I don't want you to miss it, right? So the other day, I had a deadline of all this computer work that I had to do. And I was struggling because the minute I would get it up, it seems like things were disappearing or things would freeze. I hadn't had a chance to save them. So if I powered down, they were missing. Or I'd walk in the room and come back and all my apps would be down. And I'm like, what is going on? So I was pointing fingers at it must be the malware. That's not working. And I look at the malware and no, it's like, oh my gosh, it must be the internet. So I was looking at the internet. I put it on a hotspot so that I knew that I had internet and still it wasn't working. I thought, oh my gosh, am I being sabotaged somehow? I'd ordered a new computer, but I didn't have time to set it up. And I was talking to a friend. She said, well, have you asked if it's positive, negative, or neutral? I was like, what? Of course it's negative. I can't get my work done. And I'm working so hard, but it feels like I'm just going upstream with no paddle. She said, ask if it's positive, negative, neutral. I was like, well, okay. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm going to kind of get quiet and kind of think about things and meditate. And yeah, I like to quiet my mind and feels like the universe has messages for me. And as I pondered on it, it was like, yeah, we have some stuff for you that we'd like to impart, but you're so busy. We're trying to get your attention, but you're so hyper focused on something that you're not even getting what you can get. Well, now I recognize that there are things that they do in my life when they're trying to get hold of me or trying to get me a message that I'm just not getting. Let me give you another for instance, because now that I look back, I go, that's exactly what they were doing. I had a brand new car and we were trying to sync the garage door opener to the garage door big master opener thing. It's got a motherboard in there and you in the car you sync it. And so when you push the remote, the door goes up, the door goes down. We had a master garage guy here who actually built motherboards. So he knew everything there was to do and he could not get it to sync. And he was calling into different offices, different places, going, why isn't this working? But yet it works when we push it on the wall, but not on the car. And so while he was working there, I was in the garage and I thought, I'll just keep cleaning. I'll just keep cleaning and organizing my garage. And he finally said to me after 2 hours, he said, this is such a big house. How do you keep up on it? I said, I really don't know, but I am so grateful for this home. Bing! Right then, the garage door went down. It had synced. And we both looked at each other and we're like, what? Did that just happen that we thought happened? And he's like, yeah, it went down when you said the word gratitude. I was like, oh my goodness. And we had this amazing conversation about gratitude. The universe had been trying to teach me about gratitude, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't getting it. So, as it usually does, it teaches me in pretty crazy little messages. So, that day, that chaos we were having with that garage door opener was an attempt to get my attention so that when something did happen, I would make the correlation between gratitude and the fact that it had synced. And I got the message. Okay, chaos looks very different for lots of us. Sometimes it's chaos of our entire life. Have you ever had like that snow globe effect where it feels like life is just taking you and upside down and it's just shaking you and you're just like, oh my gosh, my whole world has been turned upside down. Well, we can go in, oh my gosh, pity me. I don't know. Or I am learning, we can go into, wait, is this positive, negative, or neutral? Now, what do I mean by positive, negative, neutral? Well, one of the things that could be positive is the changes are there to stop the chaos. The pain is great enough. The change has to happen. It could be that a person is removed from your life, and looking back, you go, oh my gosh, that was a good thing that happened. It could be that a job ended and another one opened up that's actually better, that they utilize your skills more effectively. Could be for so many positive different reasons. And sometimes we don't see the fruition of that or how the results are going to come out until down the road. Neutral could be the universe just got some great information they want to give us, or there are some messages, some direction that would be helpful if we'd pay attention, if we'd be quiet enough. And there's such a cacophony out there of information in our life and being on our phones and listening to music. We rarely have those quiet times. And the universe has got to do some pretty severe things. And sometimes it's our body that's doing it, right? A big pain in the side. And you're like, what in the world? And the body's just saying, would you pay attention? I know this is causing chaos in your life because you're limping around, but maybe I've got a message for you. Do you want the message? Now, the negative could be, hey, things are just so out of balance. The universe is one of balance and organization. So it could be saying something's got to change and you got to change it now, or it's just going to continue to cycle like this. Or it could be a warning. The messages are individually ours. And so how do we get those messages? How do we know what to do? Well, we've got to be able to get the message by being curious. We got to be detectives. And I just love that. All right. Just getting really curious about things. But we can't go in like I did with my computer. Oh, I know it's the internet. I know it's got to be the malware that's malfunctioning. I was pointing in all these different reasons. It's got to be the people working outside in my sidewalk. They probably, are clipping something with the internet up there. And all these reasons that it had to do with my computer, all these other things. But I didn't turn here. This was not my first choice. I was ignoring all the signs. But when we have our big boy and big girl pants on and can go, you know what? There's only one person that I control 100%. Yeah, we can try to control children, but what I'm saying, when it comes to responsibility and being able to change 100%, we have control of here, of us, and nobody else. So to get the message, we've got to be able to hear and listen to this, because I'll tell you something, when we have chaos in our life and we're a part of the cog in that wheel, when we step out of playing that cog, that whole thing starts to disassemble. The chaos has to change. It either gets worse and we remove ourselves, or it gets better because we've started a new pattern. It's really pretty cool when you think about it. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, Albert Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same mind that you created the problem in. So we cannot be in this chaos to be able to solve the problem. We've got to get to a place where we have more problem solving skills, we can more bird's eye view. So what does that mean? We have to be in these higher vibrations as far as a calm mind. We've got to be in a place of the parasympathetic. We cannot be in fight and flight. So how do we do that? Oh my gosh. Some really simple ways. First of all, music. Good music. Really watch the words though. Good music can pull us into a different mood right away. It can organize our brain, can calm us down. Another way is breathing, breath work. Did you know if you do the box breath, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and do that about 30 times, we bring ourselves into the parasympathetic and we calm our mind. Once our mind is calmed, then we can start listening for thoughts and asking, okay, universe, I'm quiet now. I'd like to know, what is my peace in this chaos? How can I change? What is the changes that I can make to be able to create a change in the chaos that I'm surrounded by? When we step into that accountability of, I know there's other people that are playing parts here, but really I want to focus here because I know that I'm going to put myself in a better position, whatever that looks like, by taking accountability and doing what I can, my part. Now, let's just say you're a mom that has kids that come home and they're just out of control. And you're just like, my house is chaos. Don't be surprised if maybe the solution is when your kids get home, bring them someplace and read them a story and give them cookies. And all of a sudden you set from this day that they've had, all of a sudden there's this calm and they're nourished, because when you're hungry, hangry, there is a chaos to that. And so you nourish them that way, you nourish them with love and a little bit of attention, and all of a sudden the house starts working differently. Now that's just one little example, but maybe it's that we are the catalyst of the chaos. Maybe it's there are emotions that we react to violently to different things, or we have lack of action, or maybe we're the root cause of complaining or dissension. Maybe we're being victimized and we continue to allow that to happen without reaching out for the appropriate help. Maybe we're not pulling our weight, or maybe we have these incredible gifts and talents that we're just not contributing because we're thinking, oh, these people aren't going to appreciate it, so I'm going to hold back. I'm deciding not to utilize it. And these people don't even deserve it. There could be so many different situations or scenarios that we might learn from, that we might be asked to evaluate. And course correction sometimes can be harsh. Course correction sometimes, but you know what? Here's the deal. You gotta love course correction, because if we're staying in chaos, don't you want someone to just stop you and go, whoa, wait, hey, try this. If you'll do this, I promise things are gonna start changing. But you got to do your part. Wouldn't you be curious to know what your part is? Wouldn't you take the opportunity to say, you know what, if it's going to be something positive in my life and taking me out of what I'm feeling like now, the snow globe effect where I feel like my whole life has just been shook upside down, wouldn't you want that? And even if it's not your fault, what is something you can do to contribute so that it changes? So whether it's positive, negative, neutral, it doesn't matter. We have a part in it, right? The fact that there's chaos gives us a message of stop and get some directions now. We got some changes that need to happen, and we want to help you make those changes. It's exciting, but yet we have to realize that when we start making changes, sometimes the chaos gets a little bit heavier, just like that zone or that area where they were building new apartments. When they were deconstructing, they were making a mess before they could organize. It's just like organizing our home. Sometimes when we're doing a clean out of everything, oh my gosh, we create utter chaos to then create order. So if we know to expect that, okay, I'm going to do these positive changes, and I know that it's probably going to have some repercussions or some chaos because I've kind of pulled myself out of that role that has been contributing to the chaos. If we'll just hang on for a little while, we'll start to see the fruits of what we're doing. Now, there's lots of other ways that we can get answers, and I'm actually going to do some more on this because I have been so excited about recognizing in my life when I was been getting these messages and how we can more effectively. But changes don't happen. They don't happen unless we energetically or up in our mind can see it happening and can feel it happening. If we can't see it happening in our mind and feel it happening, we can't step into being, because we won't believe that the change can happen if we can't see it here in our mind. This week, do me a favor, evaluate where there's chaos in your life, and then get quiet. Go for a walk, go into meditation, do some breath work, some music, and then get quiet and ask the universe, what is the message you have for me? What is my role in this chaos? And what's the first step I can start doing? I promise you, you will get something if you're patient enough. And know what? If all of us look at the different piece or the cog we play in chaos, and we all came forward and said, I want to change. Help me know my part. Can you imagine the world we'd live in? It just boggles my mind to even think about it. But I'm delighted to think I can do my part, because my little microcosm I care about. I want to make sure. Unpacking 2023 is going to help set us up to be more powerful and intentional about focusing on some goals that are really going to make a difference in our life, and that I can do everything I can to make that change. Anyway, I couldn't wait to share with you. And I hope in some way this resonates with you and you're thinking, oh my gosh, the universe has been trying to get my attention. I think I better check in. My friends, we're the creators of our life. My friends, we create the life that we want. And curiosity, I tell you, it's a superpower. Take care. Come next week because I've got more. And I can't wait to share. Tally ho, my friends.